We are in Indianapolis. Mike Hogewood and Scott Douglas along with Steve Burns. And it is jam-packed here, ready for some big-time monster truck action full on with the surprise, I think, here in this semifinals, Nightmare.
Gary Bauer out of Vienna, Ohio, has that Ford in the semifinals. He'll take on the other Ford in the semis. Gunslinger Scott Hartsock out of Oldsmar, Florida, trying to make it 2 in a row on Motor Madness. Remember, he won in San Antonio.
Gunslinger, as you see here, ready to go on this U-shaped track. If you weren't with us last week, it is really tough getting over some obstacles as you go down that straightaway. And then you just have to jump on that brake, try to rear steer it, get it turned around, and then punch the throttle and head for home.
Scott Hartsock has been one of the best doing it. We'll see how he can handle it against Gary Bauer. In this matchup of Fords, we know one thing. We're going to have a Ford and a Chevrolet in the finals. Which ones? We're about to determine that fact.
Now, in these Fords, you'd have to say again, the Gunslinger is the favorite, but Nightmare has been running this track very well, and they're pretty even the front straightaway. Let's see how they take the turns. Nightmare does a pretty good job. But now here come down the final straightaway. It is going to be Gunslinger. Gunslinger, your winner, but Nightmare gave him all he could handle.
It was just one bobble from Gary Bauer in Nightmare, and that's all it took. Gunslinger smooth all the way around. Scott Hartsock gets the win, but as you mentioned, Mike, you got to get Nightmare a tip of the hat. A great run by Bauer. As he came off the turn, though, he got kind of sideways, and that cost him. Here you can see they're basically even in the turn, but Bauer is a little bit off kilter. He's a little sideways. That's where Hartsock wins the race.
Very disappointed Gary Bauer. Has to be a little bit heartbroken to have made that mistake right there on the final straightaway. But let's go down to Steve Burns now, who's caught up with Gary Bauer, driver of Nightmare.
Tell us what happened. Well, I tried too hard coming out of the corner, and I just wanted to give it all I had. And the engine had more than what I thought right out of the hole there. Like I said, the corner was the most critical part. And, you know, here I slid right into the dumpster at the end, a safety barrier, and it just, you know, broke my steering there. But all the safety that we have here, you know, kept anybody from getting hurt or kept me from getting hurt. And minimal damage to the truck, and we'll be ready to go back.
How bad's the damage?
Not bad, just hydraulic cylinder, that's all.
So, a tough break for the driver of Nightmare. Now we're ready to go with Monster Patrol. Gravedigger.
Well, we get the full-on look at Monster Patrol and that winged machine getting ready to take on the icon, Dennis Anderson, and the Gravedigger out of Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. He has looked very, very strong on these U-turn courses all year on Motor Madness, and you know he wants to go to victory lane.
Paul Schaefer and Monster Patrol has some other ideas in that 97 Chevy. Quite a contrast in the style of these bodies here. I love this 50 Chevy panel wagon that Gravedigger is, and has become so famous all across the country.
Well, it's part of the mystique, and I think the way Dennis drives it is the other part, the reason it's become so popular. But certainly, over the last 5 years or so, Monster Patrol has probably gained the biggest following among new trucks on the circuit. So you're looking at 2 of the biggest and best on the circuit today.
And you can see those lights up on the top of Monster Patrol and the left of your screen. That's always a good way to identify that truck. And it is a Monster Patrol.
That huge wing, you'd think he was a sprint car, only a 10,000-pounder.
Exactly. We're ready to go here with the second of our semifinals. And a pretty good start for both of these trucks. They're dead even down the straightaway. Let's see how they take the turns. Monster Patrol, oh my. Gravedigger looks like he's going to go on to win. Monster Patrol had some problems in the turn.
Again, the turn decides it. Monster Patrol absolutely spun her out. And Paul had done a great job earlier against Boogeyman. I think he just wanted to go too hard knowing Dennis Anderson was in the other lane. He lost control just a bit in the turn, and it cost him. Dennis Anderson, as it seems to be always, on the ragged edge, but he gets the job done. Beautiful through the turns, and then he's able to hammer it. It's going to be Gravedigger and Gunslinger in a wild final.
That will be a great, great final. But it has been a fantastic semi here. The fans in Indy have loved it. We got some quad wars coming up next. You've never seen this? Hang on. This is all-out war here in Indianapolis, and it's next.